Okay, welcome to our webinar on adapting to change. Today we'll be covering the changes that we have recently seen, how they are affecting many businesses, and some of the ways we've been helping our customers through this difficult time. At the end of the session, we'll be holding a short Q&A session, so please do send your questions through via the chat function, and we'll answer as many questions at the end of the presentation as we can. My name is Robert Simpson, and I'm the Marketing Director at eCommerce. And I'm joined by my colleague Ben Taylor, who's going to take us through the webinar today. At this point, I will pass the reins over to Ben and let him introduce himself.
Thanks very much, Rob. Hi all and welcome. I'm Ben Taylor, Business Development Manager for the Netalog product within the eCommerce UK family. And as Rob mentioned, today we'll be taking you guys through some tools that we've got to help wholesale manufacturing and distribution businesses adapt to change, specifically the changes that are being faced in today's trading environment, which have taken everyone a bit by surprise. So without further ado, and before we go too much further, I should say if my kids burst in during this call, we're very, very sorry. Trying to keep control of them, but not always easy. So the context and the reason we wanted to pull this webinar together today is that it goes without saying, no one will need informing that there's obviously a massive impact on business that the coronavirus is having, of which the impact is significant. It's been very, very quick and it's extremely far-reaching. This is affecting many industries, and specifically we're talking today about wholesale manufacturing and distribution, who are encountering seismic changes, impacting both their markets in which they trade and their operating procedures. And the purpose of today for us is really to take you through some of the tools that we think we've got as a business to help flatten out some of those impacts. And help trade or these businesses or our customers, prospective customers, trade in these challenging times. We talk about the lockdown piece as being the main impact that we're facing, the most immediate impact. What does this mean to wholesale manufacturers and distributors as well? The significant changes were listed. Obviously, there's many more, but the highlights are the sales force. Many businesses in those sectors would have roaming sales forces in which they rely on to capture orders and interact with customers. These sales forces are now stuck at home. They're unable to go out, unable to visit customers, which is impacting both the businesses and customers themselves. There may be call center closures. So where customers have previously had both sales force coming through the doors, those had telephone lines going into call centres. Those call centres may be closed due to social distancing measures, which is affecting both sales functions and customer cares in terms of getting orders placed onto the ERP solutions of the vendors, and also customer care functions in terms of calling in, getting a hold of account-based information such as copy invoices, credits, tracking deliveries as such. There may be impact in the supply chain around warehousing, distribution centres being closed or being full due to the stockpiling effect from changes in purchasing behaviour or even Brexit that seems like a long distant memory now. Wholesale and distribution businesses may find that the retail outlets, which their primary customers have been closed, or even retail outlets for manufacturing businesses may be closed. So again, providing challenges on the sales side, and complete closure of regional markets. If you're trading with China, Northern Italy, Spain, those markets are pretty much in lockdown now. So hopefully we can take you through some tools to, like I said, iron out some of the effects of those within your businesses. Like I said, all these changes are seismic, but they're huge and not easy to overcome. But hopefully we can show you some solutions today which will help you find a workaround. We've spoken about what the impact of coronavirus is in terms of the immediate effects. The impact it can have on businesses, like we said, is significant. The order capture piece we've referenced, actual getting the orders from our customers into our ERP systems and getting those orders delivered. So with roaming sales force sitting at home, call centres closed, it becomes very, very difficult to take orders if they are primary order capture methods. the getting of product to customers or to the end user completely changes when supply chains are shutting down or there's warehouses being closed. So the whole order, pick, pack, and dispatch process changes and can be completely turned on its head, which is a massive challenge and has a huge impact on revenue and profits. The customer service piece, as mentioned previously, in terms of delivery tracking, getting customers copies of invoices, credit notes, their statements, allowing them to request and generate returns, manage their back orders, are all things that they would do normally quite easily in their day-to-day lives, but in this current scenario can sometimes prove a challenge. Making payments on historical invoices or for orders that are being placed is also a key revenue driver for wholesale marketing and distribution businesses, but something that becomes a challenge in the current trading environment. Product availability, we know that we've seen some changes to purchasing behaviours in the retail space and the grocery space. That's true across lots of other industries as people buy more sports equipment, spend more on home furnishings, but less on other areas. So be able to present information around availability, product stock levels, product pricing or customer specific pricing, specifications, installation instructions and maintenance in the B2B space is also incredibly important to the buyer, but something that the challenges that coronavirus have presented may add some friction into. Erratic purchasing patterns, so we reference it in the grocery space, but we're not separated from this in the B2B environment around customers stockpiling, placing orders for products that haven't bought previously in unusual quantities, which then impacts the whole supply chain. And the disruption of traditional markets. We spoke about certain regions closing down, and that can be country-based, it can be city-based, it can be village-based, or particular types of customers in particular areas being impacted more than others as their teams and their businesses change themselves. So to be able to adapt to those changes is incredibly important in the current environment. So what is the solution? We've spoken on the last two slides a little bit about some of the challenges that are being faced by wholesale marketing and distribution businesses in B2B. What are the options to work around? We're a B2B solution, and we've been working in the B2B space for many, many years, and often the B2B e-commerce has been installed into businesses to help streamline purchasing behaviour and better service customers digitally. There's a number of things that modern day B2B e-commerce solutions can deliver and can support with, from order capture, utilising things like quick order pads to help that happen nice and quickly and easily, generate quotations, returns, present invoices, credit notes, present statements, allow customers to make payments, offer punch-out ordering through third-party marketplaces, display rich product information, product imagery, customer-specific price lists and pricing and catalogue availability, cross-sales and upsells through accessories and promotions, customer codes and order entry. B2B e-commerce has started to become widely adopted before the coronavirus outbreak, and what we've found with our current customers is that they're able to utilize certain functions and features within the platform to streamline how they're working and really keep them up and running within the current challenges. And we're going to show you a few of those areas today in a bit more detail. The first one is allowing customers to place orders. So we mentioned that many of you were closing call centres, taking salespeople off the road. So just simply getting orders onto your system from customers can be a challenge. B2B e-commerce will allow customers to browse a catalogue, and this can be a customer-specific catalogue, with their own bespoke pricing, add items to basket, check orders out, and make payments very nicely and easily. And that's aligned to all the settings that we have for that particular customer in the ERP. So different to B2C in that every customer gets the same experience. B2B, every customer's checkout experience is unique or specific to their own account. So B2B e-commerce allows those orders to be placed with all the checks you may have if done through the contact center, but done online. So less resource requirement from a human point of view, and orders can flow directly into an ERP. If you're having trouble with call centers being closed, then the solution also offers a telesales order entry module. You can jump on, find the account, get access to that account's credit information, their statement, where they are versus existing credit limits. We can browse the catalogue that's specific to them, with pricing that's specific to them, adding items to the basket, and then applying any customer-specific discounts at line level or order level that you want to apply. Again, allowing people to access accounts remotely without having to sit in contact centres, but for orders to flow through into the vendor's ERP in a frictionless, seamless way. We can also create tailored experiences utilising B2B commerce. So where a customer may log on from a particular sector, we can present a particular customer experience from an imagery point of view, a branding point of view, a marketing point of view, on the same site, just using a different login. So I've got 3 examples which we're showing here. Quite different examples, but they can be as vast or as targeted as we need them to be, which is again a great way to personalise the experience if we are having our customers lose contact with people in a contact centre or a roaming salesperson, as we know is happening. Dropship has been an incredibly important feature in these times where the wholesale market or wholesalers may be closing, so manufacturers need to look at finding ways of getting their goods into the end user's hands, bypassing the traditional supply chain. So using B2B commerce, we can select dropship delivery rules, which means we can ship goods directly into our end users' addresses. The customer service piece, fantastically serviced by B2B commerce in terms of allowing customers to track orders, view statements, check out their invoices, generate copy invoices, credit notes, statements, or even make payments onto outstanding invoices. So with contact centres being closed, credit control teams may be sitting at home, unable to contact customers. Customers can jump on and self-serve all of this information, allowing them to trade and revenue to be generated. Presenting rich product data is also incredibly important if we're taking away those customer contact points. So they may want to ask questions about products, linked products, accessories, generate spec sheets. They may be requesting installation or maintenance guides that was traditionally delivered via a contact center or via an account manager. We can now do this online using best practice B2B technologies. Again, facilitating customers' ability to place orders during these tough times or find the right product. As we can see on screen there, the solution will allow linked products to be presented with accessories, cross-sells, upsells, range extensions, doing the job of or filling the shoes of the roaming account manager in these difficult times. We can also do things like return requests through the solution. So they can jump on, and where a customer may be placing return requests for a customer call center, they can now do it online. So they can find a historical order, find the line they want to send back from the order, put in a reason code against it. So by the time that's received into an email address, the person looking after the customer service function within the business is managing. All the information's there. There's not lots of back and forth, and the customer gets the job done. They need to get the job done, relatively quickly. The creation of quotations as well, also a fairly resource-heavy activity using B2B functionality. We can request non-catalogue quotations, so items that may not exist within the catalogue, or where there's an item that exists within the customer catalogue. They can find the product, enter the number of items they want the quotation for, create a basket of goods, and then send that basket of goods in as a quotation rather than the sales order. So that can be directed to an account manager or a customer service team rather than going directly into the ERP. Equally, if there's a quotations module that's existing or turned on within the ERP, it can go through that process as well. So just takes away the need for manual intervention and allows customers to carry on with their business as usual, or as close to business as usual as possible in the current circumstances, without having huge impact on resource from businesses which may be furloughing workers. We've spoken a little bit about erratic purchasing behaviour. So through the solution, we can add in minimum, maximum purchase limit. So what you can see on the screen is the admin area and the back end. We're just amending the maximum purchase quantity on this product to 15 lines. We then go back into the customer side. They then jump in, create the order, try and create an order for 20 of those lines, and they'll guest message to show that actually the maximum quantity on that particular product is 10, so to adjust that. And that then just helps with customers potentially looking to stockpile or consuming what is minimum or sensitive stock lines, where there may be problems in servicing those or replenishing those as we go down the line and as this situation continues. The solution can also support rapid rollout into new markets and regions. So if you are trading into Northern Italy, for example, and you wanted to quickly swing your marketing to a different region, then the solution allows you to present different currencies, different languages through the same platform at the touch of a button, which is we're finding is helping our customers flex to the challenges they're seeing today very, very quickly and retain some of that revenue and generate that revenue that they need to be generating to be staying afloat. So lots of things that can be done. Netlog, the solution that we're talking about there, is modular. There's lots more that it can do, both in terms of B2B e-commerce and accessing digital marketplaces. So if it's something you're looking at, you think may be of help or maybe of use to you in these challenging times, pick up the phone, drop us a line. We'd be more than happy to give you a bit more detail on the other areas that it can service that are very, very B2B focused. A bit more background about the solution. So it's rolled out into lots of businesses, from £5 million turnover to £1 billion turnover. 100% uptime in the last 12 months, so you can be sure it's a solid solution. And we process over 250,000 orders every day, over 500 million order lines per year, 300,000 customer logins. So that's buyer logins. The number of buyers can be associated to a customer, so fairly chunky volumes there. £1 billion of orders processed each month, so it's a robust solution. Very, very focused on the B2B market, as I mentioned previously. Lots of customers across lots of industries, which has allowed us to build out a feature set which services the requirements of wholesale marketing distribution clients across lots of different areas. Rather than being industry specific, it allows us to build best-in-class solutions which service or look at best practice across lots of different industries, but also within the solution there's lots of industry specific functions and modules like man packs for PPE, for example, very relevant and pertinent in today's trading environment. Customer service levels are also extremely high. Not many customers wander away. They tend to come to us and stay with us for a long period of time, but don't take our word for it. Many businesses we know are looking for solutions which are going to help them address the challenges they're facing today with the coronavirus outbreak, but also they want to, if they're going to invest in a solution, they want to understand that the ROI is going to be when they get back into BAU, which is fair enough. And what we find is that when a solution or a solution's installed into a potential customer or a customer, that we see impact in a number of areas. We'll often see sales jump up as customers are shopping rather than just simply transacting. Because orders aren't going into the ERP via an account manager or via a salesperson, often margins can go up as well because there's no conversation to be had around discounted or the customer's discounted price. Customers simply find a product, add to their basket, and check that order out. More orders are placed, so rather than it being a task they do on a Tuesday or every other Tuesday, they tend to build orders over a week, interacting, logging on multiple times during a week, during a month, building that basket over time, which means they're checking out more orders over that period. More order lines, as we mentioned, they're shopping rather than transacting, so they buy more items than they would do typically if they're just going through a list they've written down to replenish their shelves. Better gap fill, so the better performing categories do well. If there's particular categories you're looking to get into a particular customer or client, then B2B commerce is a great way to allow that to happen. Customers tend to be more loyal because they come to the B2B web store to look at the catalogue, can find the products clearly that are being sold and add them to the basket rather than having to go to multiple vendors to see if they can find a particular line they're looking for. It's all there and can be found immediately if it's available. Promotional uptake goes up, which means the perceived value that vendors delivering to a customer also skyrockets. Hugely beneficial and links back into the loyalty points as well. There's significant cost reductions around manual order entry and correction of errors around entry. We know that when an order comes in over the phone, typically there's a 5% error rate. If you look at 100 orders, that goes away, which is fantastic and a huge win for all parties from a customer care point of view and a cost saving point of view. There's also the opportunity through the banners that we showed around the different types of customer or different targeting to open incremental revenue streams like sales and advertising to suppliers if you're in the wholesale distribution sector, which is proven to be extremely profitable for a number of our existing customers. And also customers are expecting to see market-leading B2B commerce solutions from all sectors. Wholesale marketing and distribution isn't excluded from this. So by having a market-leading solution in place, reputation and positioning is greatly improved. Very understandable that we've got an immediate requirement and may have an immediate requirement for a B2B solution that can do all the things that we've touched on. If we're delivering an integrated solution, we can turn this around very, very quickly in 16 weeks compared to something like a high risk, which is a couple of years in terms of implementation and a couple of £1 million in terms of cost. We're nowhere near that on either metric. So if we're looking to deliver an integrated solution, this is where the ERP is driving the master data, and we've got orders coming in via an integrated channel. We're looking at 16 weeks, like we can say. The integration piece is a big bit of that. UAT is a big bit of that. If we're looking to build a standalone solution, which may be a priority or maybe something that you would want to look at doing, given the current circumstances, then that can be turned around far quicker. A lot less work required, and it can be built standalone, giving you all the positives spoken about. Obviously not so much of an ROI, but that can be introduced at a later phase once the priority tasks have been addressed. So to give you an overview, obviously these are just rough numbers. It can be done quicker. It can sometimes take a little bit longer, but just to give you a view that it's a solution that can be put in extremely quickly. And then a bit more about the wider context of where this product, Netlog product, sits in the TrueCommerce family. So TrueCommerce predominantly do EDI, so EDI messages back and forth from suppliers and customers. The Netlog piece in the top right-hand side of this chart handles the storefront piece. We also integrate via Punch-Out into third-party marketplaces like Ariba, Oracle, Coupa, taking out the work required to interact with those and allowing, again, electronic orders to flow back into the ERP. We can also, through a combination of Netlog and other TrueCommerce products, integrate with your catalogs with marketplaces such as eBay and Amazon, allowing you to trade digitally in every direction, which is very much the mantra of the business as a whole. And that's it. It was a quick overview today. I know that there's a lot of businesses out there looking for relatively quick fixes to immediate problems. So we wanted to jump on and create or just let you know the tools that we've got available that could potentially help you dig yourselves out of the holes or over the walls that you may be looking at. So hopefully we've given you a flavour of what can be done, and if there's any questions that have come out of that, it would be good to take them now.
Thank you for that, Ben. Now, before we finish, I just want to pick up on some of the questions that we've had through today. So let's have a look. Yeah, okay. So the first question we've had through is, what is the difference between Netalog and better known solutions such as Magento and Shopify?
Yeah, it's a good question. Thanks for that, Rob. Magento, Shopify have sort of been born from B2C. So they've started their lives as B2C solutions, where you've maybe got a single offer being presented to whichever customer comes across. So single catalogue of products, single price point. B2B, as the audience will know, is a lot more complicated. So almost every customer needs their own catalogue, their own set of pricing, they have their own rules at checkout, their own delivery schedules. So it's difficult in some instances for a B2C provider to flex those B2B requirements. Netalog has been born from B2B. We've been built from the ground up as a B2B, thoroughbred B2B solution, which means that we're au fait and we understand B2B extremely well, and our solution is built to address all the challenges that a B2B vendor might face in the marketplace. So the main difference, the answer to your question, is that we are B2B specialists, whereas other solutions that are out there, which maybe the bit better known names, are very much built to serve as B2C, and they may do a little bit of B2B, but if you're looking for a thoroughbred B2B solution, then it's someone like a Netalog that we need to look at.
Brilliant. Okay. And then the next one, a key question, how much does it cost?
Yeah, again, another very good question. So the product is modular. So the cost is not based on number of users. It's not based on volume of orders. It's based on the functionality that you require within the solution. So difficult to say, obviously, in this situation, but we can very, very quickly get to a cost based on the functionality that the vendor may need within the solution. So we're happy to have that conversation with any interested parties. There's a couple of different pricing models that it can be done in a SaaS way. It could be delivered software as a service. There's also the opportunity to own the license if that's the approach that's taken. So yeah, flexible payment options, flexible models, and flexible in terms of cost, depending on the requirement.
Okay. Brilliant. And okay, the next one is, does the solution integrate with external marketplaces?
Yes, definitely. So we touched on that a little bit on an earlier slide. We can do punch out via Netalog, which again is another thing that separates B2C solutions from B2B. So if you've got customers that are trading with you via a SAP Ariba or Oracle procurement platform or Coupa, then we can utilize Netalog's connectivity and the pre-built integrations to serve catalogs up from Netalog into those platforms to allow customers to create orders in their procurement platforms and send orders back down through the same pipe into your ERP. We've also said that using TrueCommerce and Netalog tools combined, we can integrate with platforms like eBay and Amazon, which means that with one tool you can do business, as we've said, in every direction through every single channel through which your customers are looking to place orders and interact with you, which is incredibly powerful and slightly different to what the B2B solutions will offer.
Okay. And then lastly, I've got one more here. What kind of resources are required to run the platform once it has been installed?
Yeah, another really good question. Typically, we find that once the platform's installed, then it's run by, say, a mid to junior level customer care or marketeer person. It's not resource heavy from an IT point of view once it's installed. It's fairly low cost to run. We tend to find that the customer care teams need a bit of reskilling if they're in place. But yeah, the owner in the business is normally a marketeer, a customer care, customer service person. So yeah, it's not resource heavy at all from an ongoing maintenance and running point of view, which is fantastic and also supports with that ROI conversation.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ben. Okay, so that's all we have time for today, but I can see that we have a few more questions to answer. So we will look to follow up all the questions with participants after the webinar. So lastly, for anyone who would like a copy of the webinar, We will be sending a link to the recording in the coming days. If you do need to get in touch with TrueCommerce, you can find the contact details on the hopefully the next slide, Ben, as that come up. Thank you for everybody who has joined today on the webinar, and we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.